Hey y'all, what's going on? It's Athena Amoeba. Just a quick video stopping by just to talk about how I've been dealing with certain things. So yesterday I started my period. My first, and I mean like first full-blown day. Like I started kind of feeling some symptoms before, but yesterday was like first full-blown day. And usually the first day I'm like drained, like no energy, just drained. Like all I wanted to do all day was sleep. I felt like I didn't have energy to do anything. I mean, I did do some things. You know, I actually cooked. I made soup, which was good because it was a healthy thing that I could make. And then I napped really hard after that, and that did not take much at all. Like it only took an hour. It wasn't like I was laboring away for hours. It was not that hard to make, but I was knocked out after that. Then I woke up, cleaned, and then I was knocked out after that again. So yesterday my energy was just drained, and normally I think I would let that make me depressed because I would feel drained and feel like I didn't have any energy for anything, and then the thoughts would spiral in my head about you know, just making myself feel bad about the fact that I didn't have energy and beating myself up over things, and then I would allow that to make me feel bad, and that would usually spiral into a depression. Because I don't know if you've ever felt depressed, but oftentimes with depression you can feel no energy, like stuck, literally stuck in bed, and it's the worst. It's the worst. If anyone out there ever says, you know, anyone who says they're depressed is just lazy and just coming up with excuses, has no idea what they're talking about, because no, trust me, nobody wants to feel like that. Nobody wants to feel that way. So that being said, I often kind of convolute these two things. So when I'm depressed, really depressed, I can feel like that. I can feel like I have no energy, but it's different at the same time. Like it's more just like this heavy weight is on you, this hopelessness, this doom, just this horrible feeling that in turn makes you feel drained, or should I say makes me feel drained, and makes me not want to move, not want to get out of bed, not want to go anywhere or do anything. This was different though. Like yesterday I felt that, but it wasn't the impending doom. It wasn't the horrible internal feeling. It was just no energy. So I realized that. I was like, okay, wait, I don't have any energy today because of my period, but I don't have to let that spiral me into a depression, right? I don't have to let that trigger a depression. I don't have to let that make me start going to this dark place in my mind, or beating myself up about that and then trigger a depression and go into this like vicious cycle, right? Which honestly, looking back in the last couple of years, I would do a lot. Like there was times when I would just, you know, depression comes and I am not really sure why. Sometimes it just comes. There's times depression was triggered by external circumstances, and then I think that there is times when I confused my hormones and my energy levels with depression. Like I would feel like, oh, I don't feel like doing anything, so like I think I assumed that I was depressed, when in reality not really. Like yesterday I had no energy. It was zapped from my body, but I didn't let myself feel bad about that. I just said, okay, well, you know what, this is gonna pass. This is gonna pass. It's just a part of the cycle of the hormones, and I'm gonna feel better, you know, tomorrow or within the next couple of days. And I did. And so, you know, today I was still pretty zapped, but not too zapped. I did go out and drive today for Uber, so I was, you know, had more energy today. But I'm still not fully, you know, I still don't have full energy back. But that being said, I know I feel better than I did yesterday, and I didn't allow myself to spiral and catastrophize and sink into depression, or allow myself to be triggered into depression just because I had a lack of energy physically. So I thought that was something that was interesting. Another thing is that another thing that could have triggered my depression is my other YouTube channel that I felt had been doing pretty well, has recently declined in number of views, and it's only been a month, almost a month since I've started it. So I thought, wow, it's already declining in views and it hasn't even been that long, and I thought I was doing well, and I kind of started spiraling with that, and allow that to make me feel bad about myself, allow that to make me feel like, I can't do anything right, just all these negative thoughts. And I stopped that as well, and I said, no, maybe that there was something that I was doing the last couple weeks that I'm not doing this week. Maybe I just need to look at what I could do better and learn from people who do have successful channels and really study them, and just try harder. And I also have to remember that each video is its own unique thing. Like, instead of seeing it as, oh, my channel is doing well, just look at it as like, this video did well, this video did not do well. What made this video that did well do well? What was the thumbnail like? What was the title like? Did I promote it on other mediums more? Just really looking at those things and really looking at each video as an individual project versus my channel's not doing well, which is harder to I guess dissect than an individual video is, and also is harder to have power over than it is to have power over, okay, well, I can do these things for my videos in the future, or I can, look at these channels and look at these videos that do well and see why, and try things out, and if they work for me, great. If they don't work for me, just keep trying different things, right? So that's another thing that I stopped. I caught myself going down a negative space. Now, disclaimer, I'm not saying that you can always catch your depression. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying in these specific instances, I was able to stop myself from catastrophizing, which spirals into depression for me a lot. And I was able to stop myself from linking these things to larger issues, such as my worthiness, my my worth, my ability, all these things. I was just able to keep all of these things segmented and keep them, what's the word I'm looking for, compartmentalized, which usually I'm not very good at, but I feel like that was a real victory for me yesterday and today. And so I'm just really proud of that and wanted to share that, because I easily could have started spiraling into a depression yesterday, and I actually caught myself in 2 instances, and I just talked myself into really believing that, like, I'm okay, I'm okay right now. And I'm not saying this to say that, this is how anyone else should handle a situation. I'm not saying this to say that you can talk yourself out of getting depressed. Not at all. There are definitely times when it just hits you, and you just have to, write it out and wait it out, and just like everything else, that will pass too. But what I'm saying is sometimes we can catch ourselves when we're about to catastrophize. We can catch ourselves when our minds are about to go in a downward spiral, and we can learn. It's a process that, it's a process, and I've been practicing this for a long time too, right? It's not like I just magically caught myself yesterday. I've been practicing thinking this way, but I've been practicing, instead of feeling bad about myself for certain things, I've been practicing, 1, looking at the bright side of things, looking at the upside, and 2, really just looking at, what do I have control over? What do I have power over? I might not have control over how many people watch my videos, but I do have control and power over what I do. I have power over, okay, well, that wasn't successful, so let's look at what could maybe make it more successful, in the future. So I don't want this video to get too long, but that's just something that I've been experiencing over the last couple of days. I was really happy that I have been experiencing that. I was proud of myself for catching myself, and if I wasn't able to, that doesn't mean that I would be disappointed in myself by any means. It just means, I would have had to deal with the depression that comes, which is like really hard to deal with. But I'm just saying that I'm happy that I didn't catastrophize, and I didn't convolute these issues and turn them into very out of control, overwhelming thoughts that could trigger depression, which is what I usually do. So I'm just happy that this one time, you know, I was able to catch myself, deter my thoughts, and just practice a different pattern, you know, which is really nice. So not saying that, oh, I'm cured from here on out, I'm never gonna do that again. No, but claiming the victory, saying I was able to do that this time, you know, and that felt really good. And just sharing that process, and hopes that it will help somebody out there, and just knowing that sometimes we can catch ourselves, you know, and if we don't catch ourselves, that's okay too. We just have to self-soothe and know that it will not last forever, whatever the case is. So that being said, I'm gonna go edit some videos now. Finally, I haven't for the last day because I've been so drained, and I haven't really focused on making a really good video. So I'm gonna go study that right now, and until next time, much love.